Like a block of black steel, its crisscrossing scars are its metals. The predator believes it can use its numbers to crush its prey. Wrong. The warthog turns, goring its enemy into the air. This is not prey. This is a fighter. When the pack of wild dogs fails against a stubborn prey, the Botswana grasslands, at the height of the dry season, appear like a cracked arena, where the yellow of burnt grass stretches to the horizon. Amidst the scorching sun, a mature male warthog emerges, sullen and steadfast. It doesn't possess the grace of an antelope or the majesty of a lion, but it exudes the rugged resilience of someone who has weathered countless dangers. The crisscrossing scars on its thick, gray hide are evidence of past life or death battles. Its most fearsome weapon is its pair of curved, razor-sharp tusks, as hard as boulders, capable of piercing the skin of any aggressor. To maintain its strength, this warrior constantly digs through the dry, hard soil in search of succulent roots. A lone hyena, consumed by hunger and recklessness, tried its luck by attacking from behind. But it made the biggest mistake of its life. Instead of fleeing, the warthog suddenly spun around with astonishing speed for its bulky body. It lowered its center of gravity, gained momentum, and exploded like an armored vehicle. With a powerful headbutt, its tusks plunged into the attacker's chest, sending the hyena flying into the air before it could comprehend what was happening. The dry crash and the agonizing scream of the defeated were a resounding affirmation. This wasn't just prey. This was a true warrior of Botswana. Behold the absolute dominance of the warthog in its territory. It strode about, unfazed by any single threat, but the atmosphere began to change. The prairie wind suddenly died down, and small birds on high branches began to chirp in alarm. In the distance, where the thorny acacia bushes intertwined, something was moving with terrifying discipline and silence. Not a lone hunter, but an army. The first specks of fur emerged from behind the hazy dust. African wild dogs. They didn't charge immediately, but fanned out, surrounding him from all sides. The wild dog's eyes held no hesitation of the hyena before. They carried the cold gaze of those who enforce justice in numbers. The power struggle had officially begun, and for the first time that day, the warthog felt a truly suffocating pressure engulfing it. Since the arrival of the pack of wild dogs, the Botswana savanna had become a stage of ruthless patience. The wild dogs avoided a direct attack to prevent a repeat of the unfortunate hyena's fate. Instead, they employed a mobile siege tactic. Each wild dog took turns lightly biting the warthog's hock or hip before immediately retreating. They didn't need an immediate fatal wound. They needed the warthog to move, to maneuver, and to expend energy under the scorching sun. The warthog began to feel the weight of their numbers. It could no longer calmly dig roots, but was forced to keep its back against a thicket of thorns to avoid being attacked from behind. Its eyes were bloodshot from smoke, dust, and exhaustion, but its head remained low, its fangs still pointed directly at those lurking around. This was psychological torture. The short, harsh barks and constant movement of the pack of dogs left the prey with no moment to breathe. The wild dogs won through persistence, and they believed that with just a little more time, this living fortress would crumble from exhaustion. A thick cloud of red dust rose, obscuring the hunters. The warthog was beginning to gasp for breath, its massive chest heaving, sweat mixing with blood from small scratches trickling down its thick skin. But it was at this critical moment that the warthog's stubborn nature kicked in more forcefully than ever. Instead of panicking and fleeing an action that usually leads to a swift death, it chose to stand still like a statue. The sudden silence of its prey unsettled the pack of wild dogs. Each time a wild dog dared to approach too closely, the warthog would deliver a powerful stomp that shook the ground, accompanied by a sharp snort. It was no longer a fleeing target for the pack of dogs to easily devour. It had transformed itself into an iron spike, driven deep into the ground. The wild dogs began to sense something unusual. This prey showed no signs of weakening over time, but rather seemed to become more resilient with each wound. Tension reached its peak when Alpha of the pack stepped forward, directly confronting the warthog's tusks. A deadly silence enveloped the space, broken only by the wind whistling through the withered acacia trees. All calculations of exhaustion had failed, and now the pack had to make a decision: either attack desperately or accept defeat against an opponent that knew no surrender. In the thick, deathly atmosphere, Alpha decided to end this protracted game. It signaled the pack to tighten their encirclement, closing the distance to less than 2 meters. Alpha lunged forward, aiming a bite at the prey's rear, but it underestimated a creature cornered. Instead of retreating, the warthog unleashed the power of a 1,000-horsepower engine. It charged straight at Alpha with unimaginable speed. Alpha, though agile, couldn't completely dodge this furious counterattack. The entire pack of wild dogs froze. The scenario they had devised had been shattered by the very prey they had scorned. The warthog didn't stop there. It continued to charge into the midst of the panicked pack, roaring and wildly baring its fangs, turning the battlefield into a reverse retreat. The hunt officially ended. The remaining wild dogs, who had always acted under Alpha's leadership, were now completely disoriented. They saw their supreme leader lying in agony, his fur stained crimson. A terrible rift in trust began to spread. In the world of wild dogs, Alpha's defeat at the hands of a single prey was a sign of unforgivable weakness. The synchronicity, the greatest strength of the wild dogs, had vanished. They retreated in disarray, their barks no longer rhythmic, only solitary individuals fleeing in humiliation. The warthog stood tall in the open field, its chest still heaving after the battle, but its amber eyes shone with the pride of a victor. It had taught the pack of dogs a bloody lesson. Iron will can break any discipline, and a stubborn prey can overturn a dynasty. The barks of the wild dogs had faded beyond the horizon, but the recent battle had drained the warthog's last drops of energy. Its chest heaved violently, its thick gray skin now matted with dried blood and red dust. The victory over the pack of dogs was a miracle, but it left a deadly after effect, a burning thirst. Under the late afternoon sun of Botswana, the warthog's throat was as dry as the desert. It needed water immediately. Survival instinct guided its heavy legs toward a quiet pond not far away, the only place where it could recover, but also the dwelling place of predators, even more patient than wild dogs. The pond appeared before the warrior like a paradise oasis in the heart of the fiery savanna. Under the golden sunset, the surface of the lake was as still as a giant mirror, without a ripple, without a sound. This stillness was so gentle that one would forget that this was the place harboring the most brutal dangers of Botswana. With the instincts of a seasoned animal, the warthog stopped at the water's edge, its ears slightly perked up to detect the slightest vibration. However, extreme exhaustion from the battle with the pack of wild dogs had dulled its senses. Unbeknownst to it, just a few paces away, two small, dark specks rose from the water like two pieces of rotting wood drifting by. These were the eyes of a gigantic Nile crocodile, a monstrous creature that had survived dozens of dry seasons with chilling patience. The crocodile didn't move. It lay motionless beneath the black mud, its heart rate lowered to conserve energy, waiting for the moment its opponent was most vulnerable. To it, the wounded warthog wasn't a brave warrior, but simply a nutritious mass of meat, walking straight into the jaws of death. The warthog snorted softly, the cool water's scent masking the pungent, foul odor of its hidden predator. It didn't know that beneath its own reflection in the lake, a jaw with a biting force of tons was slowly opening in the darkness of the swamp. The surrounding space suddenly became eerily silent, as if the entire savanna were holding its breath, watching every move, waiting for a terrifying explosion about to erupt from beneath the calm water. The moment the warthog's dry tongue touched the cool water, a brief sensation of pleasure deceived all its senses. It was the fatal opening the crocodile had been waiting for hours. Boom! With the speed of a steel spring compressed to its limit, the aquatic monster leaped up from nowhere. A massive, rough, and black mass of muscle overwhelmed the warthog's vision. Before the warrior could react, the crocodile's sharp teeth snapped shut like a bear trap, sinking directly into its snout and left canine. The terrifying force of the bite dragged the warthog towards the deep pool. The crocodile didn't stand still. It used its massive body weight to perform a deadly spin, the reptile's most brutal attack, designed to tear through tissue and break bones. Splashes of water and black mud flew, stained red by the hot blood that began to gush from its fresh wounds. The exhaustion from the earlier fight with the pack of wild dogs had now become its death sentence. The muscles that had once propelled it through its enemies were now weak and yielding under the pressure of the water and the mechanical strength of the crocodile's jaws. The violent waves began to subside. The lake, which had just erupted in violence, gradually returned to its deathly stillness. Only a few patches of pink foam and ripples remained where the warrior had stood just minutes before. The crocodile slowly dived to the bottom of the lagoon, carrying its spoils into the darkness. The warthog's sacrifice left a silent void on the rocky shore. The proud tusks that once triumphed over the pack of wild dogs now lie forever beneath the deep mud. The savanna has no place for mercy. It only records the interconnected links of life and death. The warrior conquered a kingdom on land, but fell before a silent killer beneath the water at the very moment it sought survival. Do you think the warthog's escape from the pack of wild dogs was pure luck? Leave your comments below the video. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss our next wildlife survival series.